coming up in the life of our church. Our next gathered prayer evening is happening tomorrow night, the 4th of September, from 7:45 at St Thomas's Church in Beaconsfield. On Wednesday, the 7 a.m. Zoom prayer meeting will continue as normal, but following a break over the summer, the 9 a.m. prayer meeting will resume on Wednesday, the 13th of September, with an in-person prayer breakfast at Don and Steph Horrock's house. These breakfasts will continue every fortnight until half term. Arrive from 8:45 for breakfast and prayer from 9 until 10. It's a chance to eat and pray together. Contact Steph for more information. Email her at steph@venturechurch.org.uk. Are you new to church? We'd love to invite you to our next newcomers lunch on Sunday the 17th of September to get to know you a little more. For more information, email hello@venturechurch.org.uk. Our next church family update will take place during the service on Sunday the 17th of September. Do join us if you can. And finally, next week we're back at the Beaconsfield School for our service from 10:30 a.m. We'll be starting a brand new series called Confident, where we'll be spending several weeks looking through the book of 1 Peter. Join us from 10 a.m. for refreshments, the service at 10:30. As always, for more information or to get in touch, visit www.venturechurch.org.uk.
Today, we relaunch our venture communities, and there are many reasons as to why we have made these communities so central to what it means for us to be the church in the world. But let me highlight just one. The Bible knows nothing of a solo faith. In fact, the moment Jesus called us to follow him was the same moment he called us into a new relationship with his people. And so what that means is that our faith is meant to be shared with others. That's how we grow. That's how we live out our purpose. That's how we discover who we are. That's how we express our gifts. That's how we get the courage that we need to live faithfully every day within an increasingly complex and challenging world. And we really do live in a challenging world. Now, as followers of Jesus, we are called to live like him in our workplaces, in our schools, in our families, in our friendships, and our neighborhoods. We're called to live for him every day, right where we are. And that's not always easy. We need one another. We need the encouragement of others. We need the challenge of others. We need the comfort of others, the prayers of others. We need others to be standing alongside of us. So at Venture, we want everyone who calls Venture Church their home to be in a venture community, not only so that they can receive the encouragement they will need to live their faith out, but also so that they can give themselves to others. And so here's a couple of things I just want to share with you today, a couple of tips of how you might embrace this opportunity to be in a venture community this year. The first tip is this: remember that everybody needs grace. Simon and I often banter around this phrase that everyone's normal until you get to know them. And it's true, isn't it? Everyone appears normal, but actually underneath the surface, we all are quirky. We all have our flaws. We all have our weaknesses. We all have our challenges and our pressures. In other words, we all need grace. And the truth is, over the course of this year, as you get to know people, you're going to find that you really warm to some people and you get on really well with them and the relationship is really easy. For others, you're going to find relationship with them a little bit more challenging, perhaps even irritating. In those moments, I want you to remember that everyone needs grace, including you. And you have an opportunity to learn and discover how to be a minister of grace in those moments. The second thing I want you to remember is that you're going to get out of it what you give to it. This is just an age-old truth. You know, if you only go half in or only half committed to your community group this year, you're not going to get a lot out of it. But if you embrace being all in, if you make the choice to say, I'm going to be committed to this group of people, then I believe God's going to bless you in a myriad of ways that you could not even have imagined or fathomed. So can I encourage you to go all in with your community group this year? And then the third thing to say is approach your community with the question, how can I be a blessing? It's very tempting for us to approach groups like this with the mentality, What am I going to get out of it? But we need to just change our mindset. And instead of saying, what can I get out of it? We need to ask ourselves the questions, what can I give? How can I be a blessing to this group of people? How can I be a blessing to the venture community leaders who give so much of their time and energy, who open up their homes, who offer hospitality, who organize us and rally us and encourage us? How can I be a blessing to them? How can I be a blessing today to that person sitting next to me who perhaps has come from a really rough week that I know nothing about, and yet they've come today seeking some encouragement? How can I be a blessing to them? What about to the kids? How can I be a blessing to them? How can I be a spiritual aunt or uncle or grandparent to them and show them something of Christ's love to them? How can I be a blessing? So 3 things, 3 attitudes. Remember, everyone needs grace. You're going to get out of it what you put into it. And ask the question, how can I be a blessing? So as we start today, let's start today by getting to know each other a little bit better. You might already know lots of people within your community group. You might be someone brand new and you don't know anyone. Well, let's take this moment to be a little bit more intentional about sharing our stories with one another. And so I want to invite you in your community time today to, first of all, share a story of when Jesus became real to you. Now, it might be the case that you're someone who's still on a journey and you're yet to experience Jesus for yourself. If that's you, I want to just simply encourage you to share what has encouraged you to look into Christianity, or why are you interested in getting to know more about Jesus. You can share about that. And then the second thing I'd love for you to share today is, how do you want to grow in your faith this year? Maybe there's just one thing that the Lord's been speaking to you about. Maybe there's been a theme going on for you. Maybe you want to be a bit more intentional in your spiritual life in a particular area this year. Would you share how you would like to grow in your faith this year? And then once each of you have shared that, I'd encourage 1 or 2 people to pray for each person. Pray a blessing over them, really listen to the Lord for them, pray encouragement and pray into their desire to want to grow. And then at the end of your time, would you dedicate your community to Jesus? Jesus is central to these communities. He's at the heart of these communities. He's the one that we adore and worship and glorify through the way that we relate to one another, through the way that we're spurring one another on, through the way that we're seeking to be declaring his praises to a broken and hurting world. And so would you dedicate your group to him this year, that indeed he would be glorified through you this year? So have a blessed time. I'm really looking forward to hearing what God does through you.